talk to you about now is what you'll be able to get when you partner with ADP.
Okay.
So the first thing is you'll be able to leverage ADP's breadth of services. So you'll actually have access to ADP's industry-leading technology, which ranges across from a very simple piece of technology all the way to a full-blown human capital management solution. Okay. And there is no other company on the planet that has the ability to offer that full range of services.
Okay, good.
So the next thing that you'll be able to leverage is our approach to business. So ADP's proven methodology leverages 620,000 clients across industries across the entire globe. And what that does is that provides ADP with unique commercial insight, but also gives us access into different organizational challenges that companies are facing. So you can tap into that knowledge and provide that to your clients. What that does for you is that gives you a distinct edge over your competition in the marketplace. So the last thing would be the financial impact. So as I mentioned, by partnering with ADP and having access to the breadth of services and our approach, that's going to differentiate you from your competition. What that does is going to help you retain more clients, win more deals, and then ultimately, that's going to have an impact on your top and bottom line.
Yeah. Good.
So what you'll be able to give to your clients is a complete solution. So as I mentioned, having access to the breadth of services, our approach, and then combining that with your process, you'll now be able to provide a complete solution to your clients. Furthermore, ADP really focuses on the bigger number. Okay. So we have proven time and time again that we can impact the P&L anywhere from the cost of goods sold to the operating expenses all the way down to the taxes that an organization pays. Okay. So through a synergistic partnership with ADP, you will be able to provide strategy to your clients, ADP will execute, and they've got a complete solution.
Yep.
Okay? So let's take a look at the methodology of ADP and the types of conversations that we have with organizations. So ADP, breadth of services, we can work with organizations whether they're in growth mode, whether they're just sustaining, or they're trying to right size. So for this, for purposes of this conversation, we'll just stick with organizations in growth mode.
Okay.
So we've talked about the P&L. And most of the time when I sit down with a company, they consider ADP a single line item there in their operating expense. So they think maybe, okay, ADP is a $15,000 vendor invoice. But what we really try to do is we try to force companies to consider a much larger number, say 15 million. And let's say 15 million is the organization's overall annual payroll. Okay. So when we look at 15 million and we can say we can have an impact of maybe 1 or 2%, that is a much bigger number than going in and saying, hey, we can save you 10 or 15% on a $15,000 invoice. Okay. So from top to bottom, we can impact the P&L from cost of goods sold by helping them manage labor and their benefits and workers' comp, into the operating expense column from helping them consolidate vendors, improving processes and policy, all the way down to taxes, corporate taxes, and helping organizations reduce even the amount of money they pay to unemployment tax. Okay. So let's talk real quick about an HR department, human resources. So you can split HR into two different categories. You can have strategic and then tactical. So over here in the strategic area, this is where HR teams are really helping to focus on the strategy of the organization, where they're going moving forward, how to optimize their workforce and identify and retain their talent, right? So this is really where an HR department should be spending their time. Okay. On the other side, you've got tactical. These are the things that you have to do because you're in business and you have employees. So processing of payroll, complying with the ACA, make sure you're staying on top of that, the administration of benefits and the time and attendance and so on. So what we find is that a typical organization is spending anywhere from 75 to 95% over here in the tactical column and only 5 to 25% in the strategic area. And the thing about that is that there's a high amount of risk over here in the tactical, but zero reward. So if you consider, if you don't process your payroll today, there's an immediate implication. Your employees are very upset. But if you don't come over here and focus on optimizing your labor, there's no immediate implication until years down the road and you realize that there are things that are wrong. So if there is so much risk over here and very little reward, why do organizations spend so much time over here? One of the reasons is if you look at the way that HR and payroll departments are structured and the type of information that flows in and out, it looks like this. At any given time, there could be dozens or hundreds or thousands of pieces of information flowing into an HR department, and all of those pieces of information have an outflow. They have to be redirected to a government agency or another system or a vendor or back to an employee. So lots of information coming in, lots of information going out. And all of this stuff flowing in and out here is your money. Your labor, your taxes, benefits, workers' comp, that is your cost of goods sold. So if you look at this stuff coming in here, let's consider a ratio. Let's say, for example, for every one time card that you process, you have 4 exceptions, 4 changes you have to make on that time card. If you could transfer that over to, say, now I've processed 50 time cards and I only have 1 exception, you can see how the efficiency grows very quickly. Yeah. Can you see how this right here could become very complicated and really bog an HR department down in tactical items? Mm-hmm. So to further complicate things, we've got hundreds and thousands of pieces of information flowing in and out every single day in an HR department. The next challenge, the next dilemma that we find that the standard organization have is the way that they manage this information. And a lot of them manage them through what we call silos. So over time, they'll go out and they'll buy, say, a piece of technology to manage one thing. They'll outsource another piece. They'll use a spreadsheet for this, and you just continue adding these silos. The problem with that is that it takes time, energy, and money for your employees and managers to transfer information back and forth across these silos. So this silo here has the same information as that, same information as that, same information as that, and there's information flowing back and forth between them. So it really complicates this. So the good news is that there are options for your clients, for organizations out there. It doesn't have to be that way. So the first option, I mean, there's always the option to do nothing. Nobody's sitting here with a gun to your head saying you've got to do anything. Okay. The next option would be to hire somebody, have a person come in here and they can manage the stuff for you. You can consider what a partial outsourcing solution might be like to outsource one small piece, like maybe managing unemployment, to a partial or full technology solution where you're utilizing technology and some service to manage that, or full technology outsourcing where you are outsourcing entire functions from the organization by utilizing people, service, and technology.
Got it. Okay.
So how do we come to a conclusion, and how do we get to the point where we know what might be a good fit for the organization? So what we do, what our process looks like, is we will go through a business process review. Okay. I'll come back out, I will involve one of my business consultants, and we will analyze different aspects of the organization, from system optimization, financials, and organizational performance. And based on what we uncover, we will be able to come back to the organization with feedback. You told us X, Y, Z. We think by doing this, you're going to realize this type of gain. Okay. So when we have these conversations, what we ask from our prospects, from our clients, is that they give us their time, they give us access to their people and their information, and that they give us executive sponsorship and a venue to come back and present our findings to, at a bare minimum. What they'll get from us in return is our time, our expertise, our resources, benchmarking tools, and a viable option that will help them solve their problems. Yep. Because what we're looking to achieve is that they have the right solution the first time, so that if they're implementing something, it's the right thing, little risk, and the right execution the first time. Good. So, I'm sure that you have been having conversations with your clients over the last couple of months. I bet a lot of things that are coming up are around, the Affordable Care Act and things like that. Yeah. So, what I'd like to do with your sponsorship is actually reach out to your clients and let them know that we have formed a partnership, and see if we could sit down and have this type of a conversation. So, who are the last couple of clients that you've met with over the last few weeks?
Oh, let me just tell you all about them.
Yeah, right.
All right.
All right, good job.